Sure.
David Yontef, has everybody seen the press? The press this man gets. David, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not really good luck. But anyway, ironic timing that you would have an exclusive with Anne Heche, sadly, the week she died.
You know what? And like,
was,
one of my friends said, this is like the second person that I've now interviewed. The last one was like much sooner in time. It was Tawny Katane. She's the girl from the White Snake video. For all of those that are not in their 20s, we know there's lots of people in the 20s. And if you're not in your 30s, anyone in the 40s, 50s, or 60s, or 70s knows that Tawny Katane was the girl in the White Snake video for Here I Go, Here We Go Again, Here I Go Again. And I interviewed, she was lovely. And that one was almost more scary because it was literally like 2 weeks later after we had chatted that it happened.
I remember that. Because she was married. Who was she married to? She was married to someone very famous, right?
Yes, but then they divorced. I forgot who, but it was someone famous. This is bad. I can't even remember my own interviews. But listen, I mean, I fucking loved Anne Heche. Loved. Again, I always say this, like, you just get people that are interviewing and then you just get a real, authentic, she just gave real answers. There was no trying for the microphone.
You don't know, unfortunately, you never know what's going on with someone behind the scenes. But I mean, on your show, she looked healthy. She looked vibrant. I mean, she was just wearing this great, very California fedora hat. I mean, she just looked so good. And, I haven't followed Anne. Anne Heche has just not been an actress. I respect everything that she's done. And I've read more about her, sadly, in the past week or two. But I never followed her career. But just to hear her on your show, it was such a great interview and sounded like she was doing so well. I think it's just so tragic, whatever that tipping point was for her.
It is. And I don't know. I always feel, look, you always go back. I mean, I've gone back now again. Like I did it the first time. You do go back and you look for things and signs. And I don't know. I mean, she seemed she seems happy. It's just, I don't know, like, what a tragedy, right? Like, what a tragedy.
Total tragedy. I don't know. I again, like, maybe you got a sense of this. I mean, I guess she has battled addiction issues and kind of some mental health issues over her career. Is that right? Did she talk about that on your show?
Yeah. And she was very open about it. And, I mean, that was one of my questions, like, where are we in 2020 with mental health? Like, are we all talking about it, or is there still a stigma? Discuss amongst yourselves. Like, we kind of went down that road. And, like, she was also the original one canceled, so she was canceled because of her relationship with Ellen before a cancel culture. So, we talked about that.
See, I don't know. To me, she was still working. I mean, she'd done recent roles. I mean,
she was still working, but she didn't work for a long period of time. And she's not worth how much is Ellen worth? 150 million, 75 million, 50 million?
Easily. I mean, apparently Ellen's worth $100 million in real estate. So
so she does not that. And it was all because she, took Ellen as her date to, a premiere, and she didn't work. She didn't work for a very long time. Really, she was doing Lifetime movies, and she said, I'm not knocking Lifetime. I'm grateful. That's what put food on the table. So yeah, I mean, you're working and doing Lifetime movies. That's certainly different than, America's Sweetheart, who's hosting the Oscars and has her own talk show and is worth $100 million in real estate alone. I mean, it's just, she was the one that was run out of town. She really was.
Wow. No, you're right. And I mean, I think we've all heard now over the years, right, how awful Ellen has been to work with. And I mean, she's a comic. You hear from comics, because I'm doing stand-up out here. You hear all the time from comedians, like, Ellen would never promote other comedians. I mean, Ellen is not a good person, I mean, apparently, so it's like, and I think, yeah, I mean, Anne probably knew that years ago, right? But it takes a long time for everybody else to catch up. And again, to your point, she's already worth hundreds of millions of dollars now. So what does it matter? I mean,
and really, what went viral with her passing was that she wants Miley Cyrus to play her in a movie of her life.
Yeah.
It was different, but I'm telling you, if she was alive, what was going viral was, I asked her, I said, if this is a full circle moment, now Ellen's canceled. Okay, she's not canceled, but she's canceled. She's off the air. She's the queen of mean. Her whole staff walked out. She has a black mark next to her name. Let's not cry a river for Ellen. I'm like, you're a human being. Like, isn't this kind of like full circle? Like, you got canceled. Aren't you happy? And she shut me the fuck down.
Really?
She was like, no. And it was my last Ellen question. Like, I treaded lightly in general of like, this woman did not come on this podcast talk Ellen, but she was like, no, I don't wish. What I went through was absolutely horrible. There's a horrible industry. People turn no, I don't wish that upon anyone. And so it's not for me to say. And no, I take no pleasure in the fact that Ellen is going through this now. And I thought that was like, that would have been a viral, and it's got some, it was in Newsweek, but it would have been a bigger thing, which is like, but so what a great, you know what I mean? Like, we're all human. I don't know. If you really put my life on a different trajectory, I might take some happiness in the fact that but she's like, that's not how I function. And I'm like, what a wonderful woman. Really, honestly, this is really true.
Well, I just think it was so tragic. I've read so much about her life now. Like, when she was growing up, her father was a pastor, but was gay. And, one of the first, not one of the first, but like that first wave of people to die of AIDS in, the early 80s. Long before anybody talked about it, and what a tragic life. I didn't realize her mother, she only has one sibling that's still alive, and her mom, and 3 siblings have passed. And then I think she even had another younger sibling when she was younger who died.
And she was in a cult.
Yeah, the mom was, or Anne.
She was born into a cult. When she left, I forgot. It was like, but she was born into a cult. So
I know, and it was horrible. Like, and it sounds like her father sexually abused her. I don't know if he abused her other siblings. I mean, the woman went through hell. It's like, when you read her story, it's amazing she even lived to 53. And I feel so badly for her sons. Like, I hope, like one of her sons just came out and said, I hope she can rest now. Like, she's really at peace. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, what a life. What a life. It was a great interview, what I've seen so far that you did. It just so tragic.
Well, not to make a inappropriate segue, because one thing has nothing to do with another, but we do have all sorts of other vehicular issues going on. This time on the East Coast with Miss Ariana Biermann, Kim Zolciak's daughter.
Yes. Well, what do you think of this story? Because TMZ, Ariana is denying that she was drunk. Apparently she got into a minor car wreck